Hello everyone, and welcome along to Season 2 of the EA Sports WRC Club by the Creator Series. It is fantastic to be back. It's been fantastic to be across different channels for the first time, of course, Creator Series channels on Twitch and YouTube, but also the EA Sports WRC channel. Welcome along everyone who's joining us for the first time, or just joining us via that channel. We will talk you through what this event entails very, very soon. But first, some introductions. I am Gareth Allen. Today, I'm joined by the wonderful John Isamusing Harris. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, just a few last-minute issues before we went live, but, you know, nothing like a few last-minute tech issues to get you in the mood, hey, John?
Hey, the WRC is one of the most complicated motorsport events in real life, so technical issues are part of the production, as they say. Part of the entertainment.
Absolutely. So, right, okay, if you've not seen this club before, what this is in the EA Sports WRC, you have the clubs feature. We have an EA Sports Creator Series club where we pick out some of the best creators from the WRC scene and from further afield to take part and battle it live out on stream tonight and for the next 8 weeks, right? But also, you guys can get involved. You guys can run the exact same rallies. They're open all week up to the start of the stream, and indeed a few hours after. I believe it will be reset tomorrow morning, and you can join us, I believe, in the EA Sports WRC channel. It's pinned in chat. Elsewhere you can put exclamation mark WRC to get involved, join our discords, join the community, and you can really fight it out and duke it out against our creators. And actually, I can show you what the standings were for the first ever season of the EA Sports Creator Series WRC Club. And it was Puncture who magnificently beat you to the title, John.
Indeed, I'm keeping my reputation of finishing P2 of every championship that I do. You know, consistency is key, although at some point I would like to win something, maybe.
You are...
But Puncture, I must say, Puncture had just the perfect season, just the consistency, the pace, and just keeping level-headed when other drivers didn't. And, you know, a bit like in the real WRC, consistency pays, and just not crashing sometimes can get you enough to get a championship. Puncture, however, did a lot more than that, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he was fabulously consistent, and he also maybe cooked the books as well, not allowing in some of your previous scores. But yeah, it was Dirk Chocolate in third, Aerotech fourth. He was a fantastic reserve for the series. Patterson in fifth, Riff Blondie was superb in sixth, seventh was Miraculous, eighth is Ambient Mike, and ninth, look at that, I somehow made the scoreboard at the end. That's how scuffed some of those results were. And B-Roy in 10th position. So, you know, if I can make it onto this scoreboard, everyone should get involved, because I think I only made it to the end of a few stages. Most of them end up in misery for me. Indeed, practicing for this week, I ended up lasting 2 stages, which is quite fantastic. Isamusing, have you been able to have a run yet?
I hope to be doing my run sometime this evening, actually. This is one of possibly the most difficult choices, because we've got the fastest car class through the corners anyway. The WRC 2017 to 2021 class, where we have the Ford Fiesta and the Polo WRC. And then we've got Corsica as well, which is one of the fastest tarmac rallies through the corners, because there are so many of them, and you've just got to keep it, well, flat out and hope for the best, I guess.
It is a really, really tough combination, and it's not one that we've picked ourselves. In fact, we've put a vote out there saying, you know, what track combination do you guys want? And you have all picked, you know, not a good route. Let's say that we could have some DNFs, we could have some serious damage. I expect to see radiator damage symbols and engine damage symbols floating around today, certainly in the bottom right hand corner of our screens. We do have Puncture up first. He's going to be taking us away and starting, as is tradition, the person who wins the championship will kick us off for our first event here at Corsica, on the island of Corsica, underneath the mountain of Monte Cinco. And yeah, it's gonna be fast and flying. But we start off in a little bit of a village section, don't we? Which is going to be very tight and technical.
Indeed, indeed. Many opportunities to damage the car or get some, especially aerodynamic damage. I don't, with these cars, the aerodynamic damage is almost like a Formula One car. If you get a bit of front aero, you've just got understeer all over the place. So actually keeping it clean and avoiding the rocks may actually be a winning strategy here. Yeah, in terms of the flat out section afterwards, yeah, you've just got to have supreme confidence. But in the village section at the start here, it's going to be a case of don't destroy the car in the first corners, because you can't win the rally on the first stage, but you can definitely lose it. That's for sure.
Yeah, so first stage is going to be, I think it's not too long a stage, 8.5 kilometers. I think you're quite good at French, aren't you, John? I'm guessing. You say you're a semi-French streamer, right? You're
yeah, I have
French
done
heritage?
some streams in French.
Right, okay.
Not French heritage, but I do live in France, so
Right.
yes, my French. I'd like to think at least that my French is semi-good. Let's put it that way.
My French. I'm going to pronounce this Pogolia, but that sounds like a very British way of pronouncing it.
It's more of Italian names, would you believe, in Corsica. It was a long time Italian, if I remember correctly. I'm not that good on the history of that, but definitely a lot more Italian-esque names. So probably an Italian pronunciation would be better for that. Corsican dialect is actually a mix between French and Italian. I'm sure a lot of people will correct me on that, but it's an oversimplification of that, as we see Puncture ready to get going. Here we go. Revs building up, the light sequence starting. Season 2 is about to get underway. I can't wait for this.
Yeah, we're going to have some flying moments on this circuit, and straight away through this technical section, hitting the dips and the dives of this area. And yeah, let's see if you can just hold us together. As you said, it's all about just keeping it consistent on that first stage and putting it together. We do also have at the same time going Dirk Chocolate, and he's also took off as well for this first round in the season 2 of the Creator Series WRC Club. And yeah, he's looking good. So we're about 26 seconds, 30 seconds. There's a spreadsheet in the background that everyone has to go to. And straight away at this hairpin, and I want to see if Dirk gets around this, because I was showing him my screen as I did my run, and he said, "Oh, 3-point turn to get around the corner. That's not very fast." He's just had to do the same thing.
He's just done one.
So
I think that's a bit of karma and a bit of jinx there at the same time. It's always as we go straight into the wall as well on the outside there. Very inconspicuous corner there with a bit of off camber and tricky braking. That corner tightens just as you hit the apex, and I've done that many, many times. Wait, no, I've never made a mistake into there. Correction. But yeah, it's a very, very tricky corner, that one, especially. And of course, with the radiator at the front of these cars, very exposed. That could be a little bit of damage straight away, not the and also aerodynamic damage as well. Puncture, I must say, is going absolutely flat out through here, is leaving nothing to caution right now.
yeah, I mean, Puncture said this is the one stage and place that he's never actually played on the game. Of course, Storied, of course, won the championship last time out. But yeah, just never been able to get his head down and actually practice this set of stages. So this is really going to be a voyage into the unknown for him. I think it's going to be a voyage into the unknown for many of our creators out there as he heads through the second sector now, and it gets out of that town section and really starts to straighten up, and you have a lot of flying corners, 4 lefts, 4 rights, and the occasional tightening of like a 2 right here that we're getting here, which is just keeps you on your toes, really. You need to be really aware of your pace notes.
Yes, well, as the pace notes would say, it gets faster now. And definitely with all of these blind crests and the camber of the road being really, really tricky here as well. As soon as you get a wheel onto the dirt, you basically lose your grip entirely. Now, one of the most important aspects of these cars is the brake balance. Sometimes you want to put the brake balance a bit towards the rear. However, with Corsica, there is no runoff. Most of the time you're going to go straight down the cliff or into the rocks that you can see there. And sometimes you want to play it a bit more cautious and put the brake balance right to the front so that at least if you lock the wheels, you're not spinning off.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to go full screen with Dirk now. who is yeah, battling through this stage. And I mean, you're talking about setup there. I had an idea before the stream. Why didn't we just get everyone to set every single property all the way to the right? What would you envision going wrong there?
Everything, and indeed everything. So some of the settings that I can think of would be the suspension being, well, no suspension basically, just as stiff as a Formula 1 car. Now, I can see a few problems, namely the bumps and the rocks on the side, which could just send you flying basically. The other thing being, these cars are heavily reliant on underfloor downforce and, well, everything to do with aerodynamics really. So setting the ride height to the maximum would indeed make them drive, well, like a boat, I guess.
I love how you humour me with that silly comment.
Oh, Dirk's off.
That's a big moment.
Is he going to get the... Oh, be careful, don't try and drive up, just reset. Just reset, he's going to drive up.
He's too proud.
I think this is going to be... Can he get the reset off? He is under the 10 km/h limit to reset. I cannot believe how much luck we've just witnessed. Incredible. He does have radiator damage, however, so that might be a little bit problematic. But we have just witnessed coming so close to a DNF without actually DNFing right there. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we did speak about it beforehand about the radiator damages popping up. And we have our first one just tucked behind Dirk's camera there. Yeah, I mean, we do have shorter stages this season. If you're joining us back again, welcome back, of course. Thank you very much for staying with us as we begin Season 2. We do have shorter rallies, I should say, about maybe 80%, 70% distance that we previously did. So that gives people, you know, less time to actually have to sit there and pick up damage. But as well as that, we've got some quite consistent times with damage repairs and different service areas being open. The next one being after Stage 2, but Stage 2 is going to be our mammoth stage, indeed, Ponte, the full 28.6 kilometers of it. So any damage he's picked up is going to have to be sustained through that. We do have Puncture, he's finished on the left, and it looks like he's picked up a decent time there.
He got incredibly lucky. If you were watching carefully to his reaction on his webcam there, he nearly lost it into the last corner there, nearly spinning all the way to the finish line. Very, very lucky indeed, because that is a DNF area there.
Well, that's interesting to note. We also have two very, very quick drivers. Vlembar, our Creator Series standings winner inside the club, and EXA Kamikaze, someone who's won before, of course, winning back in Sweden back in round 2 of the Creator Series club. So he's very, very quick. Of course, people from that kind of esports side of the community, and Kamikaze already watching through his rally there, and Vlembar on the left, a 44.33 for him. So very decently quick there. I think they could be setting the standard throughout this stream.
It's indeed P5 for Vlembar. It's interesting to note the difference in car choice here between the quote-unquote esports drivers. We've got Kamikaze in the Ford Fiesta and Vlembar in the Polo. Interesting difference there. Of course, one of them having, I think, 20 brake horsepower more, so it will be very, very useful in Corsica, because there's a lot of acceleration zones, a lot of uphill, and indeed a lot of downhill where you can use the power, but the Fiesta has a lot more downforce.
Yeah, well, it's something I did want to note, because it is 15 more brake horsepower, but it's also a little bit heavier. It's 30 kilograms heavier. How does that affect things? Extra power, extra weight? Where's the trade-off of all of that?
The trade-off is mainly in the corners, the braking distances and all of that. The Polo does feel a lot more lethargic to turn. You really do have to anticipate the corners. However, it has a bit more consistent grip, in my opinion. If you have a correct setup, it reacts slightly better to the bumps because there's a bit more weight. The Fiesta tends to be a bit, how to say, maybe skittish over the small, especially repetitive bumps, basically. Dirk Chocolate there, look at the car damage. Oof, that front aero is not going to be operating as usual. I think box for a new front wing right there.
Yeah, it's he's going to be kicking off this second stage here. As I said, the big long stage here, our kind of king stage out there, and yeah, so it's going to be all partly cloudy, dry, I think, all the way through this event. We're not going to have to deal with any changeable weather, but we are looking at 14:34 being the quickest time on this stage already. I love Dirk. I don't think he's going to get close to that time, certainly carrying the damage he's already carrying. But he is someone who can cook on his day, Dirk. So let's see if he can crack on with the stage and get his head down, really hit that flow and get him to the rhythm and try and avoid any mistakes like he made last time.
Yeah, indeed, the start of this stage is actually very, very fast. So you've got a few hairpins here to start off with, but then it goes into at least 4th gear, if not above corners, a couple of chicanes, and then you get into the really like valley driving, where it's more 3rd gear, 2nd gear even sometimes in the corners. So the difficulty with this rally is just keeping it on the road effectively, because it's the rally of 10,000 corners, as they call it in French, and there's a reason they call it that way. As you can see, there's just corner after corner after corner, and you just have to listen to the pace notes. And oh dear, oh, he's straight off. Indeed, I've jinxed it once again. Listen to the pace notes. Not, I thought season 2 was going to be a bit different, but apparently not. Same old, same old. He's got back on the road again. That's twice lucky. Unfortunately, luck does run out at some point, but I hope not for Dirk anyway.
Yeah, just pushing his luck too much there. Not getting in that rhythm like I said, he needs to. And usually when you make a mistake, the biggest thing is just pick your head up and try and move forward. Do better. Don't dwell on the past mistake, because that's easily when you can just do something a bit silly in future. But quite interesting with Dirk's setup, he doesn't actually have the pace notes on screen. It's all only through audio. So that's an extra little bit of prowess there from Dirk, to be honest, to be able to do that. It's a little bit more realistic. Of course, you don't have any kind of VR simulation in real life popping up on your windscreen. But, you know, it means that it's just easier to get caught out by those notes, and so important for him to be listening to those notes being called.
I know some drivers, however, that would say that having the pace notes on screen can be very distracting. And if you're mid-corner and suddenly a red pace note appears on screen, you have a tendency to look at that rather than the road, and especially on a rally like this where there's so many corners one after the other. Sometimes it can be visually distracting when you're trying to spot the apex, spot where the danger is, the rocks, etc. So it's driver preference, I think, as we go into this flat-out section, 6th gear, all the way through here, and there's a chicane at some point, and also a bridge. I know that's coming up, that's for sure. We'll have to wait and see whether he spots those. Here comes the chicane, left entry.
Hay bales are often something that I get caught up in. Just go flat out into them, not realise they're there until last minute. I'm definitely someone who needs the visual cue on. I need that big red box saying slow down, checking your speed, something's about to happen. Because otherwise I just kind of get in my own zone and end up capitulating my day and falling off the road.
Yes, well, Corsica is one of the rallies where I tend to fall foul as well to the differing tempos and maybe mistakes. As once again I say mistakes, and Dirk nearly throws it off the road again. I've got to say, stop saying the word mistake, maybe that'll help. But it's definitely tricky once you make a mistake. You've got to keep the tempo up, because some of these corners have either tighten or open, and if you're second guessing your entry into the corner, you can actually create 2 corners in one and start accelerating mid-corner and just go straight off the road. So as Puncture making a mistake on the bridge there, nearly Austin Powersing it there. That was lucky as well. Everything kicking off right now, and Dirk Chocolate's off the road once again, has got stuck on some sort of rock. I would not move from there, just press the reset. Will he be able to get back on?
He's very proud. He always tries to get back on the road. And only a 7-second penalty, that's not too bad. But he's probably cost himself maybe 5 seconds, 6 seconds by just not immediately reflexing for it. There goes his bonnet. He doesn't need that anymore. Lucky for him, it didn't stay on for that long. Sometimes it can pop up and really block your view. So yeah, luckily that was discarded straight away, but just a sign of how much damage that front end has picked up through the opening 2 stages here.
Indeed, indeed, and at the same time Puncture was off the road as well, managed to drive back on the road, but they're playing with fire indeed, that's for sure. And as Puncture again off the road, my days, he's got a puncture as well. That is disastrous.
Yeah, that is a puncture for him, and he's going to try and march on here through this stage.
I think indeed he has repaired it.
Oh, he has repaired
that.
Okay, okay. Yeah, it does look quite stable. Yeah, there's no way you're turning into a corner that quickly if you hadn't repaired it. But Puncture, I think, doing the right thing there. This is a very long stage here, and the worst thing you can do when you pick up that kind of damage is really compound it by getting more damage when you should have just fixed a puncture and, you know, preserve your car, get to the end, be in the fight, and try not to fall off at the worst time and pick up a 20-minute penalty, 25-minute penalty for having to kind of retire your car and then return it to the next stage.
You're okay driving for about 2 or 3 sectors at most on a punctured tire before it completely delaminates and is on the rim. Once you're on the rim, you have absolutely no grip. And Mr. Kamikaze is off the road.
He's retired.
Is that a DNF?
That is a DNF.
That is a DNF.
Oh, no.
Incredible. One of the favourites to sort of lead this event, maybe even win it, is DNF'd on the first leg of the rally. I cannot quite believe it.
Yeah, he's disappointed, shaking his head. Somewhat understandably there, but yeah, he's come into this one quite late, a very late call-up actually. Within 2 hours before the broadcast actually went live, we plugged Kamikaze in and got him into the stream, so he's not had any time to practice. He's going in quite fresh here, and you can see that, you know, even the best make mistakes, and Kamikaze's going to have to really try and claw back time from a big penalty there.
Yeah, indeed, it does show how, even if you know the stages, even if you have a setup for the car, etc., these stages are so difficult they can just catch you out. And sometimes it's always that little rock that you forget, or just a little bit of changing in grip, because of course most of the time you're doing time trial, so fresh tires, fresh car, no damage, no aerodynamic damage. If you take a little bit of damage and suddenly the lines are completely different, as if you had front wing damage, for example, in the Formula 1 games, that changes everything and your rhythm is completely gone. So I mean, valiant effort considering he was such a late call up, that's for sure.
Yep, we can hear a bit of Dirk as well on our screens, so if anyone can hear that, then that's good for you. I don't know if I don't know if that's just on my side or your side as well, but yeah, you can't deny a little bit of Dirk.
Dirk is DNF'd as well. I failed to spot that. I was too busy looking at Kamikaze's screen, and he is DNF'd. I would love to see a replay of that, but I do not think we're going to get one here.
I'm not sure if anyone can supply us a clip. There is a way of doing that. Of course, if you're in the Twitch channel, you can go to !WRC and you can join us and drop any of clips you see into the Stream Clips channel, and we'll try and bring those up mid-stream. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happened to him. Maybe we could even go for an interview with him. And try and get him to show us a replay, but he has gone past that screen now, so that's disappointing for him. He is indeed now preparing some parts, and really,
well, or at least trying to.
Yeah, there is a chance with the amount of damage you pick up, you still can't return to the track because your car is in a dissatisfactory state, let's say.
It looks like he's managed to fix all of the critical damage, so we should see Dirk back out on stage. In fact, he's managed to fix everything with it without taking time penalty. That doesn't add up to much in the grand scheme of things, because I still think he's got 25 minutes of penalties there, but all is not lost. You can come back onto the next loop. Yeah,
certainly. So he's going to be having to go out and wait a little bit of time before his allotted time towards the next stage here, so he's a bit disappointing for him, let's just say that. And he's not the only one. Kamikaze, of course, falling into the same trap, but at least now he can recover and he can come back. Previous season, the club feature didn't have that ability to rejoin, so a lot of people caught out. I think actually one of our stages, round 7, which was Greece, only one of our drivers actually even made it to the end.
Indeed, and the driver we are currently watching as well, Mr. Consistent, Mr. Puncture. Indeed, he has been the class act of just keeping it on the roads, that's for sure, and that's exactly what he's doing right now to gain up positions. About halfway through the stage now, as you can see on the left, and once again into this town section, which takes quite a few routes through here, different courses, and well, they're all characterized by having huge walls and gates and cars to crash into, as once again, the jinx comes out as soon as I say it, so and once again, consistent from me as well. But yeah, definitely it interrupts your rhythm in this stage, really, because you've been so fast, so flat out. You go into the town section, you have to be careful, and then all of a sudden, 2 minutes afterward, you're right back out onto the flat out stuff.
Yep, so, I mean, over halfway through the stage now, No red indicators for Puncture. Yes, he's had a few moments, but consistency is what got him the championship last season. Just being there consistently, picking up podium results, always being in the fight, and he knows that. He's a seasoned rally driver. In fact, I think he's even dabbled in a bit of real-life rally out there in the United States. So he's someone who's used to doing well, but that was a big moment, wasn't it?
That was a decent recovery, though, I will admit that. The bonnet, though, is not going to help him from this point onwards. The problem is with that, he's going to have to go fast enough to actually rip it off of the car, which could become interesting if he just decides to stay flat out. But, yeah.
He's being called by a friend, so we'll head away from that one. Oh no, he's cancelled it. That's gone live out. So you know.
That was just M Sport calling him up to have a strategy change, and there we go. The bonnet has now departed from the car. So weight reduction, no worries. Everything to plan. See, M Sport able to deliver a solution within 5 seconds. There, amazing stuff.
Yeah. So he was being able to recover nicely there from that distraction. A couple of moments there, and a zoom call coming in. But yeah, being able to recover nicely, but still just clipping the outsides of the wall, just riding his luck a little bit. Again, this is our longest stage, so fatigue can start to set in, especially for someone like Puncture, who's never actually ridden this stage before, driven this stage, or done any kind of practice on it. In fact, he's been fighting in the Nürburgring 24-hour over the weekend, so he's had his head well and truly out of the EA Sports WRC scene, and you know, he's just looking for you know, a good consistent result. A top 3, a top 4 would do him nicely here and get him some good points on the board as we start off this second season.
Yes, it's worth reminding the viewers as well that he has used up his spare tyre. Now, I'm not sure that if he took 2 spares, I doubt it, but he could still be in trouble because he has more than 4 splits to go. If you get a puncture at this stage, especially with the unpredictable nature of the car, once you've got a puncture, you could still be in trouble at this point. One person who's not in trouble yet is Vlembar, who's absolutely punching it through the stage at the moment, looking like he's driving flat out and having no problems whatsoever. Vlembar, I think, winner of 2 separate events last season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, certainly the first event, but all the way back at Rally Finland he picked up, and I think maybe even the final event as well. He picked up a good result as well. So Vlembar is yeah, super quick out there. Was it that, or was it Rally Kenya? I can't quite remember, but he has won multiple times.
Rally Kenya was me.
Oh, Rally Kenya was you, of course it was. Yeah, coming in and asserting your dominance straight away. Did you practice much for Rally Kenya, or did you come out and just hit the ropes and give everyone a schooling?
Well, I don't know what it is about the Group B cars. Oh, Puncture's off. I just saw him go off as soon as I started talking, and he's going to go right back the... That is an amazing recovery. Oh, he's not done it quite yet. He was just about to recover it, and then you need to go full left with the steering lock to recover. I think he's going to be able to get back on the road. And there he goes. Good recovery. Honestly, 10 out of 10 for that. No, he's still not back on the road. Still going. The longest crash we've possibly ever seen here. And still going along the bank. Now, be very careful here. You might want to reset here, Puncture.
Yeah.
No, he's back on the stage. There we go. 10 out of 10. Honestly, that is the most amazing recovery I've ever seen. Just down the bank, up the other side, use the momentum to carry on. Perfect. Job done. Easy. As they do. He's
got a bit of a reputation as a reset merchant, hasn't he? Certainly through last season, maybe abusing the reset to track issue where you could reset to track mid-air. Of course, that's changed between this season and last season. You now have to be below 5 miles an hour, I believe, to be able to reset, and with all 4 wheels on the ground. But him showing that he can drive a little bit of honour out there, and Puncture will be clipping that one, I'm sure, for future days. Whenever someone says you're a reset merchant, he will be showing you that exact clip where he battled to get back on the road. It probably cost him time overall, but it always feels good when you can make a recovery like that.
Exchanging time for style points. You know, honestly, I can respect that. That's a pretty good choice right there. But yeah, this event really does favour sort of the smooth, consistent driving style. Puncture's got that sort of locked in. A few mistakes, obviously, but this is one of the rallies that provokes mistakes like that, just misjudging the corner. But in general, in real life, this rally is just one of dominance from a few drivers. You have 2 drivers, Bernard Darniche, who won it 6 times, and Didier Auriol winning it 6 times as well. Sebastian Loeb winning it 4 times. One of the few records that he doesn't have. And this event actually is just one of outlying results. It's one of the events, one of the very few events that was won outright by a front-wheel drive car in modern times, the F2 kit car Citroën Zara. Driven by Filip Pogalski in 1999, one of the events that caused scandal, really, and led to the F2 kit cars being essentially phased out. And some bizarre incidents, for example, with one of the cars that we have today in 2019, when Elfyn Evans got a puncture on the last stage. In fact, one of nearly the last corner, and lost by a few seconds to Thierry Neuville. So this whole event is not over until the very last stage, in fact the very last corner.
Yeah, I think he ended up third on that day, didn't he, after that moment. So I didn't realise quite how late in the day it was that he picked up that issue. But you have to get the car to the end, you have to finish to pick up the big points. And that was obviously a hard day for him to pick up that puncture and lose out on the win so cruelly at the end. But out there in a moment, so a little recap so far. We have Vlembar and Punju still out there completing the second stage. By completing it, Punju is taking the option of rolling over. So that's interesting from him. He's struggled out there, now got radiator damage and
has a puncture.
Does he have a puncture?
And has a puncture. Okay. I'm not sure if the service area is next stage, but that is indeed another puncture and 1 sector to go.
Right, okay, so that's going to be difficult for him. He's again just hitting another moment. He's got big issues here. I don't think I've ever seen Punju carrying so much damage, and I think that really just to show that he's really struggling out there. Dirk Chocolate, Kamikaze, they're both yet to go and complete their stage. I think Dirk Chocolate's looking at the time and thinking, I can get going now.
Punches off the road. I think that might be it. I think that is indeed a DNF. He's going to go into the river there, taking a nice dip, and it's a reset penalty. Again, very lucky. But the car, at least if the radiator is overheating, which it has been doing for quite a while now, it got a brief top up with water there. There are some positives to take into here, at least. The electronics won't like it, but we'll gloss over that part.
Every cloud. Punju's just really struggling out there completely. 18 minutes, 29 seconds, 30 seconds he's been out there on this stage, and I'm sure we'll be able to get a little bit of an interview with him afterwards. 13:50 for Vlembar on the right, and they're almost at the same point on the stage. So that shows the golfing class between the two drivers, and they're almost exactly the same moment. Indeed they are, but Vlembar has now overtook him out there on track because he's got a car that is indeed intact.
Yes, indeed, so important on tarmac rallies. On gravel rallies, you can compensate the damage and try and just get through. It won't be so apparent in the handling of the car, but on tarmac, where everything's so finely tuned and the limit is so near all the time, a tiny bit of damage can make so much of a difference. So Vlembar keeping it nice and clean and across the line, and that is a demonstration of excellence right there. I wouldn't be surprised if that is the fastest time on that stage.
Yeah, well, I think it's not too far away. In my notes, indeed, it's a 14:34. That's the fastest, and there we are. 14:34.
1/10.
He's 1/10 behind, and
1/10 of a second.
That's incredibly close. That shows the kind of closeness of competition at the top of this rally event. And
have a look at the gap to P3, however, 16 seconds and then 22 seconds to P4. The top two are just in a class of their own. They are gone, vanished into the distance. This has become effectively a 2-horse race if nobody makes a mistake now. That is incredible pace.
Yeah, absolutely. Tristan has actually led quite a lot of those stages, and Vlembar, I believe, out there in the Polo, is the only person of our creators to pick that polo, and and no non-Fiesta has actually won a stage so far in the club. So the Fiesta clearly being the meta here, but Vlembar picking up that challenge, picking a manufacturer from his own area and land, and going for it. But very nice stuff there from Vlembar, and I hope he can crack on here, really. And he certainly will be way ahead of a couple of the rivals, Dirk and of course Kamikaze, having moments out there. But Punju 5 minutes behind that. I don't think they're going to be in the same race today here.
Obviously with the punctures and a Christmas tree of damage there, it must be said. Now it's all about survival, that's for sure. This is rough because obviously damage compounds. So if you get more damage and you can't fix it all the time, it makes the driving worse. So you make more mistakes, so you get more damage. It's just a spiral downwards, basically.
Yep. So Punju out there fixing his cars. We can check in with him, see what he's doing. Forced induction, radiator being replaced. What are you prioritizing with how this is set at the moment? Do you ever look at it and it's this bad? Do you ever get into a situation where it's this bad, John?
I can neither confirm nor deny those suppositions. But if perchance it did get this bad, I would definitely use the radiator repair for sure. Anything to do with the lights and the suspension, especially on tarmac rallies, you want to repair. It depends on the stages, really. Sometimes if you don't have any night stages, you can forego the lights, and as you can see, the tires are absolutely shot there. I think Puncture actually made a mistake there going onto the medium tires I just briefly saw, because definitely on that 26-kilometer stage, you want hard tires, most definitely. So maybe that carried a lot of weight in the mistake making there.
Yeah, well, he's about to hit the third stage, Ravendefinelio, and I've probably completely destroyed that. Apologies to anyone from the island of Corsica for butchering your Italian-French hybrid language. But Punju's out there. I believe we have a few of our other drivers also has started this one. Vlembar, of course, he's just finished that stage, so he's not quite started yet. But I believe Dirk Chocolate and Kamikaze have got on with it, and Dirk Chocolate's founder of
I think Punju's got a problem. I don't think he repaired, or does he have a wheel problem? Because he just stopped mid-stage there, right from the start, 2 corners into the stage. There appears to be a small problem.
Yeah, interesting. So,
or is it something to do with damage? Did he not fix the tires or something? I don't know.
yeah.
Let's see, he's back to normal pace now. Everything seems fine. There's no puncture, definitely not. But is there a small hindrance right now in either the hardware or in something selected? The car looks like it's driving fine, so everything he's definitely motoring, that's for sure. Hopefully he changed his tires. It's all a bit of a mystery right now for us. I'm not going to lie, we don't have much more information than you have at home.
I'm sure he will be able to jump in and tell us. We could even maybe pull Dirk in. Oh, Punch is at another moment. He's really just struggling out there, really. That's all you can say.
Indeed, indeed. Interesting to note that Vlembar took the hard tyres and they were only slightly worn. So definitely the hard tyres, the correct tyre choice for that first opening loop. I've got to write that down somewhere. But yeah, definitely Punju not having the best of times out there, but it can be so difficult once you've made a mistake. I've said this multiple times now on this series, that once you make a mistake it can just roll into other ones because you start second guessing, and especially on a rally like this where you don't have time to think about what's going on, and you just have to follow the notes and hope that you can keep up, really. Sometimes also with the rocks, it can blend in the side of the road with the faraway rocks in the distance, and you can not spot the apex. There's so many things that can go wrong on this rally, and it's why there have been some, tragic and indeed horrific accidents on this rally. One of the reasons why sometimes there are quite a few gaps in real life between events being hosted here, but the speed, the thrill of the chase, and indeed the difficulty of this rally mean that we always come back to it at some point.
Yeah, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go pull in our man Dirk and asking how his day is going. Dirk Chocolate, you're live on the broadcast. How is your day going so far? We're just watching along on your stream, and you flirted with the edge of that corner there for a second. Was that stage 3 for you?
That was stage 3, and I finished it in the most impressive style I think I could have finished it. Honestly, no flaws whatsoever. It's just been pinpoint perfect so far for me.
Slash sarcasm.
There was a little bit of a moment on stage 2. When I say a little bit of a moment, you had to retire from that stage?
I did have to retire from that stage because I didn't do a Puncture and reset fast enough. I haven't learnt the skill quite yet. I just didn't realize how brutal it was at just retiring you now. Look at the driving here. It's been brilliant, and then the slight mistakes are so harsh, dude. Oh.
Yeah. Do you think is making you make those mistakes? Is it the braking, the cornering, just the sheer speed? What do you think is the main problem?
I just don't. I think I'm over anticipating the corner, my cornering speed, because some corners I'm fine. I think in the low speeds is where it's like here. Look here. Oh, I got lucky with it. It's the low speeds. The low speeds. I'm not anticipating the understeer enough, and it's like just edging a bit too far away for me to catch again, and then it goes into a ditch. Otherwise, I feel great for the most part.
You enjoying the Fiesta? Good pick.
I've owned the Fiesta. I love this car.
It's a little bit of different spec to this one, though. Let's
I'd say it's the same spec personally. It depends how you look at it.
With eyes, I'm looking at it with.
It's just hard. It's just so brutal. It's so brutal. Let me see if I can find where I made my mistake. Hold on.
You know what they say? Any car is a rally car if you try hard
Any
enough.
car is a rally car, exactly. There it is. Look at this absolute nonsense of a mistake.
They're coming around the right hand. What do? Do you clip the inside, or you just leave?
Yeah, just.
Oh.
It looks like the corner tightened on past the apex, and you just carried on the racing line, but the road ran out at some point, and once you're, as I know all too well, I mean, no, I definitely haven't crashed on this rally before, no. But if I did, the road just runs out, and then you're on the gravel, and then on the grass, and once the outside tires are on the gravel, well, you're a passenger effectively.
I was clutch kicking it to Kingdom Come just to try to get anything, any little bit of grip, like anything, and it just wasn't ripping up on anything. And I was just slowly. What my brain should have gone is reset, and I was like, no. You know, have you ever fallen over really slowly? That's what it felt like.
Have you ever fallen over really slowly? Where you've had time to think, oh, this is going to hurt, or?
Well, you've had to think. If I grab that thing, I'll be all right. And you, instead of doing that, you're like, you know what? I just accept this.
I think you've got something superpowered. You can slow down time whilst falling in your head. I usually fall over and think, how did that happen? I'm really, really clumsy.
Yeah, I was about to say I didn't know quick time
there.
events existed.
Yeah, you did.
Here I was saved. I got saved by the thing there because I was like, oh, thank you.
That's what you need on every corner where you're going to go off, and a nice pylon.
That would be brilliant, actually, if we can do that. Well, yeah.
I tell you what, we'll let you hit the next stage. So this is 2 stages you've retired from now.
You didn't need to rub it in, but
I'm just confirming. Because I only retired from 1 stage, but it kind of retired me from all of it. So, you know.
I mean? So I've beaten you so far.
You have beaten me, indeed. Yeah, Dirk, that's...
That's all I care
it's
about.
not often he does, which is surprising.
So after the commentator's curse, we have the commentator's emotional damage. Right, got it.
Look, I think beating me is a very low bar. I think that should be the bare minimum.
A win's a win. A win's a win. I'll take it. I don't care.
Well, we'll let you go. We'll let you go attack stage 4 and probably DNF again. And speak to you again soon.
Speak to you in a minute, dude.
We can also go over to Puncture, who I believe is unmuted. Hello, Puncture. How are you doing today? Not as great as usual, let's just say.
Nope. But you know what? That is how life goes sometimes. And last stage was awesomely fun. I can't even lie. It was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, the big mammoth stage. It was testing. We saw you have to take a lot of pairs. Stage 3, you feel like you just hit the rhythm a lot better there.
Yeah, a lot better. I actually I have a silly channel points redemption where I let people change my wheels between the Formula and my normal WRC rim, and somebody put me on the Formula rim for stage 3.
We saw that because you stopped, and you.
I did.
We did see that. We were wondering what it was. Some kind of wheel issue. It was in a way.
Yeah, it kind of was a wheel issue. It was the issue of I had to switch, and I gotta say thank you to Jolly for redeeming that because I think that's the reason why I did so well. I was cooking in that city section. I was flying.
So
it was fun.
Are you sticking with the Formula wheel for the rest of the time, or have you gone back to that rally?
I've gone back to the rally wheel because realism. But if this one goes downhill, we know what we're doing.
Okay, so M Sport noted. You got to switch to Formula wheels now. Let's do it.
The new
exactly.
Meta.
Only for road rallies. I'm gonna say only for road rallies. If this was dirt, this would have been the worst idea of my life. But I was like, hey, it's asphalt. I'm not slipping. I'm not, going opposite lock. I should be fine. And I was. I was actually using the paddles. Yeah, using the paddles as well really helped. So yeah, it was surprisingly good. However, when we got to the hairpins, it was a little dicey. I did have to let go and rip the handbrake still. But outside of that, it was good. It was a lot of fun.
What are you finding the most difficult at the moment? Because we've had quite a few mistakes from a few drivers, including, unfortunately, yourself. So what's the hitching point?
I think the big thing about this stage, so it's like I've driven every single stage in this game except for this event. For whatever reason, it's just the one that I'd never really tried. So I'm like obviously learning as we go. The big thing that I've noticed about this stage is like track limits really make a difference here. The outsides, especially where it's looks like it's small little rocks, those aren't small. They are giant boulders with the silhouette of a ghost. They are huge. And so those have gotten me caught out a couple times. It gave me a puncture on the behemoth, spun me out, kept me from getting back on the track, spun me out a second time, threw me off the track, all in one stage. So it seems like it's those little pebbles on the right side or left side of the cliffs that have really been getting me.
So what I'm hearing from that is noted, stay on track. Understandable. That's some pretty good advice, to be fair. They do note these cars as being the Formula 1 cars of the WRC, so it does make sense that they're not very good on rocks, actually, to be fair. So
not good at all yet. Ride height is non-existent. Whenever the co-driver says don't cut, I always make it a point to cut that corner. And it's not worked out for me today, so yeah, it's not been good.
There's chance to recover, though.
That there is. I like your optimism. Vlenbar, I heard Kamikaze took a DNF to next service. So, I mean, that's one down.
Open goal.
We just gotta hope that Vlenbar has one, and then it becomes possible again. Because I haven't reset to the next stage yet. So,
so you're just wishing ill on your competitors. That's your new tactic.
Absolutely. You know what? That's and I know that's great for your karma, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
Last time I checked, you have to be a commentator to do that, but I'll try and make it happen anyway.
Yes, please do. Please just watch them the whole time. Make sure you say, "Man, he's going really fast," a lot. So that would be great. That'd be really great. Thank you so much.
Well, we'll let you head back on track, but it's been a pleasure having you in. I'm sure we'll get you in a little later on too.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Excellent. Right. Okay. So we can go back to the action. See out who's out there on track. Indeed, Vlenbar's looking at a replay of himself, enjoying him just being a class above everyone at the moment. Dirk Chocolate here in the bottom left of our screens. He's the man on a mission now to claw back from 2 big DNFs. And we can say he's still going. He's focused up. And, this is looking better from Dirk.
Indeed it is. Maybe just taking a few less kilometers per hour into the corners, it does make a huge difference with these cars. However, they're one of the few cars that if you drive them faster into the corner, you have more grip because of the aerodynamics. So confidence, a huge factor here. But
there we are.
When I said take a few kilometers into the corner, I didn't mean a few kilometers into the rock, sadly. But then again, commentators curse right there. And as Puncture was saying, the rocks on the side of the course are deadly. There we go, a perfect demonstration, unfortunately for Dirk there.
Yeah, really, yeah. He recovered okay. It didn't seem to take too much of a chunk out of his car, but there was quite a violent spin he was pitched into. So, not brilliant, but seemingly going in the right direction. seem like he has a puncture, so I think it could have been worse for him. You just have to chalk those ones off, and indeed, yeah, heading onwards onto stage towards the final sector of stage 4, I believe that he's on. Stage 4, again, you can see is a quite short one. Is it a short one? Actually, I don't think this is stage 4.
It is indeed.
Oh, I think he's had to go to the next day, right? Or to the next server.
Indeed, so he is a stage ahead then, so this must be stage 5.
So, because he's missed out on Capanazzi, not how to say it, but he's now on Serra di Kuzuvia. Again, also not how to say it, but I'm very British and I can't help myself. So, yeah.
I'm very glad you're pronouncing it, not me. Good stuff.
Look, if someone came along and told me how to do it, I would absolutely try, but I'm looking at text on an iPad. I'm trying to interpret it with my limited understanding of how anyone else speaks in the world. It's nothing but picking them for myself. I won't lie, but yeah, I mean...
Darts off the stage again, just didn't brake in time for the corner, turned in as he was braking. I think he'll be able to get a reset going. Yes, indeed he will. But just miscalculating when to brake there, or misjudging the turning point of that corner, because just as soon as he started turning, just locked up, and a passenger from that point onwards just before the finish line as well, and off at the finish line including there. So quite a difficult end to that stage, it must be said, but very, very lucky to not be another DNF there. Some small damage I can see.
Yeah, a little bit of aero damage. That's not going to hurt you with the speeds these cars go up, right? No?
Not at all, no.
Only a 15-second penalty, though. He made it towards the end of the stage. Now he can go on to the 6th stage, which is Maria, and it's a similar length. So he has at least a little bit of time here to crack on with that. But a decent time. He got a good time on the board there. 15-second penalty. With the amount of penalties he has, I think he's just looking at getting into the end here and scoring some good points. So we do have 2 different championships going on. We have the race net standings, of course, that's all plumbed in by EA Sports, and it's a fantastic tool to run clubs in. But we also have our own creator standings as well. That runs in the traditional FIA point system. Think Formula 1, their point style. We haven't gone with a new WRC style. I think there's the 2023 spec points, and there's also an extra 5 points for the final power stage at the end too. So yeah, all to play for, and those power stage points could rack up. So getting to the end and being able to be part of that is absolutely crucial.
Yes, to be fair, I think most of the drivers are pushing every single stage anyway, so points per day or per leg are redundant here, that's for sure. But indeed, they will be pushing for those power stage points at the end, some of these drivers, because it's important to keep the consistency going and keeping the sort of the rhythm, because it can often happen if you back off for a couple of stages and then you try and push for the power stage, you just go off on turn 1 because you're just not used to the grip anymore, you're not used to fresh tires, etc, etc.
Yep, someone in the Twitch chat has asked me if I can play Metallica on my guitars. If Rock Band 3, which is an EA game, so it all comes around, has Metallica on it, then I can certainly play it, because they're all actually Xbox 360 controllers. A little thing about my set that not many people realise, those guitars are not real. You've been bamboozled, my good sir. But yeah, here we are. Puncture is on that big stage. So is Vlembar at the top. So is Kamikaze, indeed. Kamikaze, we should probably go on board with, since he's attacking this stage. We haven't had much Kamikaze time, have we? Because of that instant but just attacking a little bridge section there, getting those 2 girded railings and heading on. I just love watching Kamikaze screen, because he's got a most amazing widescreen setup, which is just incredible. I once joked that he drove around on a lobster 229. He was, I think, slightly insulted because the setup he has got is truly the apple of any sim racer's eye. So fantastic setup, and just so committed. And of course, did make that mistake. It's easy to make a mistake on of course you haven't practiced much on, and we've seen nearly everyone be caught out. Only Vlembar is taking it slow and steady, and by slow and steady I mean very, very quick and steady so far. So I think Vlembar's put some time into this. He's known he's been part of the broadcast for a while. Kamikaze's come in late, and yeah, setting this 20-kilometer stage on fire here.
Yeah, Vlembar does seem to thrive in a live environment. He's done quite a few live events now, and he seems to be just absolutely electric every single time he goes into some sort of broadcast. So there are very few drivers that can actually get better in a high-pressure environment. He appears to be one of them, but Kamikaze, I would say a very, very rare mistake. I know he's a very, very fast driver. He's got the setup, sure, but he has the talents to back it up as well. And in any event that I've participated against him, he has been a formidable rival, and he's showing it right now by blasting absolutely flat out between these buildings and nearly clipping the wall there, taking every millimeter of stage you could possibly want from this. And as you can see, just so many difficulties here with rocks on the inside, with the bumps and the blind crests and hairpins. I think this has got to be the most complicated town section I've seen in a rally video game.
Yeah, of course, heading towards the Ponte area at the moment on this run, 10-20 kilometre stage. All the stages kind of taking place across a similar strip of land, so you can see a little bit of reusability, and you can kind of start to learn parts and little bits of it if you've not raced it much before. I'm sure Kamikaze has had plenty of time on this rally before, though, being a seasoned WRC player, and certainly at that esports level. But look at that cliff on the left. You would not want to go flying off there. Certainly that would be certain danger for him. But yeah, flying along, and I'm just very, very impressed. To get your head back in the game after such a mistake, you kind of just have to know that 20 minutes is gone. You're not getting it back. But you've just got to be a climber to place yourself in a position. And with Puncture, he has made it through, but with the penalties he's picked up on those stages, I'm not ruling Kamikaze out of picking up that second spot here. Even if Puncture doesn't suffer a fall off the cliff, that leaves him in a position where he's got to pick up his pieces and go on to the next stage.
Most definitely. Pace, even if you go off at some point, you can claw back that time. We've seen it in real life so many times, especially with Sebastian Loeb. So I wouldn't rule against it, to be honest. He's definitely going flat out right now. Oh, he's very, very close to the wall there. Just getting one wheel over the tarmac area onto the concrete bit on the outside there. Very, very lucky to get away with that. But then again, is it luck or is it skill? He seems to be judging these corners absolutely perfectly at the moment, and that's one of the things that if you do have a bad stage, you know that most is lost, so you can just push flat out and experiment, and all of that second guessing and general problems that happen with stress and high pressure, they go out the window. You can finally focus on driving and just pushing flat out, and if you have another crash, well, all was effectively lost before anyway, so just go for it.
Yeah, so he's not quite on the pace-setting pace here. He's coming towards the flying finish. He's going to cut the time beam. Going to be just on 11 minutes. The absolute fastest time on stage 4 so far is a 10:24.899 by Tristan. So, okay, recovering time on the likes of Puncture, but not recovering time on the overall leaders. And looking pretty clean, that car, actually, in these very sunsetty conditions. There's maybe a couple of bumps he's had there, because it doesn't seem like the panel's all quite aligned, but typically quite well. So 7th position there, so still very, very good. Vlembar clearly yet to complete that stage, and
Look at the gaps, however. 13 seconds, sorry to interrupt,
Yep.
13 seconds while I've got it on screen to P2 from Tristan there, so he is absolutely flying, and then 18 seconds to P3. These are gaps that just, I mean, you'd look at that and think, oh yeah, Sebastian Loeb's driving this event, is he? Okay.
Well, we are looking at Kamikaze here, who is just a really good driver, and he is that far away. So Tristan's clearly got his home ground of Corsica nailed down. Vlembar is someone who could potentially go and do something here. He's on the same stage, 9:30 so far, coming towards the final time split. We won't have anything to compare it to unless you remembered Kamikaze's time through the final split. That would be certainly legendary commentating if you could, John, but I'm sure you haven't, because I certainly, it's gone straight out my window. I can't even, 11 minutes he got over the line, so 9:47. So he's got about 45 seconds here to be in a time window of getting to Tristan. that's going to have to be a very quick final sector. I don't think he's going to be able to do it.
I
here,
don't think that's going to be possible. I think it's maybe 1 minute and 10 seconds from crossing the last sector time normally, approximately. So I think it's going to be just short, but who knows? Pushing flat out. Some of these sectors are completely flat out, like this 5th gear all the way down here. And indeed, I think those are the finishing. But this is going to be very close, actually.
Very close.
Incredible. A couple of seconds in it. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So that's about a second behind, I believe. Actually, I think it's only 3 tenths behind again, which is just unbelievable how close Vlembar is pushing Tristan. And actually, I'm going to jump into the race net and try and figure out exactly where he is in relation to Tristan overall so far. I think it was actually Reggie who was the fastest on. No, sorry, that was the first stage, getting completely. Vlembar, yeah,
confirmation.
Picking up the second time, 6 seconds behind Tristan at the moment. So
yeah, confirmation there of the 0.3 of a second as well on screen.
He's in a fight of picking up the overall lead, and not just the creator's lead that he has on screen, but indeed the overall. So we'll keep an eye on him definitely through these stages.
Yeah, 6 seconds is nothing. It's a half spin. It's a little hesitation with a slow down. It's a couple of lifts here and there on flat out sections. It's nothing at all. So at this stage, just one mistake can tip the balance here for the overall lead and eventually overall win of this rally. This is incredible.
Yep, so Kamikaze going through, picking up some light damage, going over it, gaming the system a little bit here. He's hoping for a few quicker fixes, and there we are, under 40 minutes.
Indeed.
He probably could have got away with another fix there, right? Maybe?
Yes. However, he has carried damage from his DNF for sure there. He had a lot of damage there for a car that looked okay on the outside. So obviously that's been slowing him down, and I wonder how much that has had an effect on his pace over the past 2 stages.
You could probably
But
get
hey,
Kamikaze in for an interview if you want. Shall we bring him in? Yeah, there we are. Kamikaze, you're live on the EA Sports WRC broadcast. Not the perfect day for you so far, of course, having that terminal damage on stage 2. What happened there, first of all?
What happened? Yeah, I forgot the Titans on the note. So when I got into the corner, I heard 3 right Titans, 3 right, etc. And I forgot the Titans. I opened up the steering and just slowly tipped over the edge and landed on the door. So we can't reset because of the new patch. So yeah, retired to the next day.
Well, at least there's still a rally going on, to be fair. But now it seems that you're still pushing the limits, hoping maybe to get a few power stage points at least.
Yeah, we can't give up. Yeah, 25 minutes behind, but it's just time. we can still have fun.
Do you think Puncture is catchable? Puncture's not been as consistent as he normally is. He lost 5 minutes over stage 2 on some of the leaders, and of course you're not too far away from leaders page. You're a little bit behind on that stage 4 there, but that's probably because of the damage picked up. Do you think it's reasonable to be able to catch up with Puncture, or would he have to make more mistakes for you to be able to catch up?
I think the way the penalty system is, he had to make any mistakes or did a puncture on a long stage or something, because catch up 15 to 20 minutes is almost impossible if he's still on stage. So I think you need to do some retirement or something to catch him.
And do you think you can win any stages out there? Of course, next stage, not too long. I think only 7 kilometers. For that one, 3 minutes 36 is what you're looking out for to be leading the stage. Certainly over Tristan, who's set a time. Do you think any stage wins are possible here?
As my strategy is no strategy. Strategy is no strategy. The stage win will be around the 2 last one, because I have some worn tires now, and I go for medium, hard, medium. So 2, 4, 2, I think. 2 on mediums, 6, 4 on hards, and the 2 last on mediums. So yep.
Well,
John, quick question, just the last one, if I may. Why the Ford? There's only 2 cars to choose from here, but is there a reason for that?
I have no practice at all. I had 3 weeks off the game. You asked me 1.5 hours before the event starts to join, and I gladly say yes. So last time I was in the game was Ford, and the Ford automatically picked when you are too slow to pick a car. So yeah, why not?
It's the default car. Yes. Thank you very much, Kamikaze, for joining so late. He is, ungodly, Kamikaze. Come in to set some of the speeds he's done. With that little practice, you can tell the talent you have. And I'm sure we'll be able to talk to you towards the end of this broadcast as well to see what kind of progress you can.
Sure. No problem.
Thank you. Excellent. Right. So, out there. Who is out there at the moment? Puncture's just come to the end of his stage. They're 31 seconds off the time, so not losing too much time on this stage 5. So ridiculous. This is the stage that Kamikaze's about to begin, and Vlembar has begun it at the bottom here, and I think Dirk's on a much later stage because it looks like it's the middle of the night for him. So he's just fighting his own battle in the future, while Vlembar
and has picked up damage as well. I can see
yes,
that he's got radiator
absolutely.
damage. Sorry to interject.
Yeah, that's more damage for Dirk. Damage Dirk is the vibe he's in today. I think another person who hasn't had much practice, I know he hasn't actually, because he spent most of the day actually setting up his PC. So he's not been able to get any hours in on the WRC platform. So I think he's doing pretty decent, to be honest, to get as far as he has.
Yeah, he's quite literally doing it live, and has missed a junction there. Well, I can only apologise so much for the commentary curse.
Yes, he's now doing a very good Austin Powers impression. I think the F2 button is perfect. So, reset vehicle.
Is this a 3-point turn or a 6-point turn? I'm trying to count, but it's not going well, put it that way.
It may be a 33-point turn by the time he's done with it. I think you're driving the wrong way. Is it a left-hander here?
It is indeed. It's a hairpin left. There we go.
Right,
and don't fall off the edge. Yeah, okay. Right, he's got that done. This happened to me. It's happened to a lot of people. Just taking too much speed into there on the handbrake, but it doesn't stop you going sideways, and you just end up sliding a bit more, and then a bit more, and then off the edge eventually.
Yep. So he's coming towards the end of this, so we'll just stick with him a little bit. We also have Puncture going through the race net on the left, which is very handy. Dirk riding up someone's drive and causing some property damage to this house as well. The owner will be furious with that and surely putting in a bill to the organisers of the rally, which is certainly us, Creator Series. We'll have to pay for that one. But Dirk going over the flying finish here. 8 minutes 48 on that stage, and I don't know what stage that will be. I think it may be the 6th stage, sorry, of Mariri is how I'm going to guess how to say it. Which is 4:25 quickest on there. So he's 4 minutes off the pace. He's carrying damage. He's doing some, alternate routes. I think he probably lost about a minute trying to get his car out of the service area halfway through that stage there. So not ideal, but having some fun with it. You can see he's smiling in the bottom right-hand corner, which is important to see.
I think you could indeed call it a stage of all time, that's for sure. We'll let you define that one at home, but indeed only 46th, so that's still a good time in all things considered. It just shows how many people are making mistakes out there, and you think you're having a bad time, and all of a sudden you look at the leaderboards and you're like, well, hang on a minute, I'm still in the top 100. That means that everybody else is doing worse than me.
Yeah, if you're watching along and thinking, wow, there are some really washed streamers and drivers out there, I can surely beat them, please do. It's !WRC in chat if you're on the Creator Series channel. If you're over on the EA Sports WRC channel, check out the hidden message. You can race against us, you can beat our times. I'm sure you can beat my time by just making it towards the 3rd stage. That's how you beat my time. But do get involved. It's a fantastic community. There's also links to Discord in that race net as well, which you can get involved with. Send in your clips. They will be played out on the stream if any clips come out before the stream starts. And you have a week to complete the event as well. And often there's a real life rally that coincides. We're rallying there too, so it's a great opportunity to try out those rallies as well. As Vlembar has come to the end of the stage, and I didn't quite catch where he's gone.
3 seconds off. Yeah, he was P3, 3 seconds off, so the gap now overall is 10 seconds to Vlembar. So it's not lost at all, but it's going the wrong way for Vlembar, that's for sure.
Yep, so it's a 3:36 that Tristan has set. Kamikaze a little bit off that pace as well, just lit up the leaderboards across the board here. And over the fine finish, 3 minutes 55 is still a very, very decent time there by Kamikaze. But a little bit off, and I think around the time that actually Puncture set. Puncture's had a good time on that stage there, so very, very decent from him. Let's see if anyone else has hit the track. Indeed, Puncture is out there. Dirk's looking at a replay. It always makes me nervous when Dirk's looking at a replay because it makes me think he may have DNF'd, but I do think he actually made it to the end of this one.
It's yeah, I think so. I'm willing to go out on a limb there and say that he did make it to the end. Looking at the what I could see from the replay at the bottom, the bar, but who knows? Might be a DNF right towards the end. A few mistakes in there I did notice, but obviously Dirk is just trying to reach the finish line at this point. His confidence looks to have taken a bit of a knock, and yeah, obviously the pace notes really difficult to concentrate even for 10 minutes, so for an hour's worth of driving as Puncture's off the road as well. I think a misjudged pace note there. Back on the road once again, 10 out of 10 recovery. He went all the way across the barrier that time and has picked up some radiator damage to boot, but that's better than the alternative, that's for sure. Everything happening as soon as we open our mouths here in commentary. It's quite uncanny.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we were just watching people at Kamikaze's and Flembar's level, we'd have less of these moments. You know, it's all about taking part with this club. You know, not racing, it's rally, and we just enjoy getting out there and being able to set some times on the stage. I think what Dirk's doing is actually waiting for the other drivers to catch up. And watching all of his replays through. But that's nice. It gives us a little bit of B-roll to focus on. But Puncture on here on the left, yeah, he's made a few mistakes out there so far, and you know, just not quite in the same vibe. There's Dirk showing off one of his mistakes where he again lost his bonnet. So yeah, just a few more mistakes from Dirk as well. That explains some of the time loss he saw across this stage. About 8 minutes 5 for him when he came across this stage. About 5 minutes. Actually, we're not too far away from the Austin Powers moment. I think it's only, you know, a handful of corners away, and I'm quite interested to see how much time he lost. I think it's 5 minutes and 17 on the clock at the moment there. So we'll keep an eye on that because I'm quite interested to know, is it less than a minute or more than a minute? I feel like a long time he was down that gully.
Meanwhile, Puncture is pushing flat out here, I'd say. He is so close to the limit there, nearly losing the car on that one. You could tell by the attitude of the car, it was just sliding after the apex. The tire struggling to grip, maybe a bit of tire wear creeping in there, or suspension damage indeed, possibly both. But he's doing a masterful job to control that car at the moment, just sweeping left and right here, over the rocks as well, and wow, he's got a reset penalty.
So
I cannot believe it. Once again, he's going. Run, Forrest, run. He is still going. And I cannot quite believe that all of this is just happening at the same time. I cannot quite. I don't have the words for it. I am lost for words at that luck. Just the sheer luck.
Lots of chat it's talking chat saying, oh, Puncture's PC is struggling with the game. It's not struggling with the game. Our video link is not always perfect, but it does seem to have picked up over the last few stages. That's absolutely our broadcast side problem, not his computer all struggling with the game. And yeah, that's not what's causing him to have those problems. What's causing him to have the problems is he's never driven these roads before. And he is really riding his luck with those resets. It felt like he fell down a 10-kilometer ravine. You know, there's only a certain amount of distance you can be away from the car before it is unrecoverable as well. And yeah, I'm so surprised that he was able to survive that one, because that 30-second penalty, he'll take that all day.
There's a good four-wheel drive system on that car to drive back up the cliff, I guess. Very good stuff. Good build quality, but he's doing a masterful job now. And I would say a great job indeed without knowing the stages. Some of the most complex technical stages in the game. So honestly, just to pick up the game here and go, yeah, I'm going to give it a try. That is just incredible, as we can see the replay here from Dirk just trying to get it spun up. Ironically, if he would have kept the steering straight then and just turned left after he'd reversed, he would have been all right, but went back into the exact same spot where he started there, so repeating the procedure. This is like practicing for driving, maneuvering for your theory test and stuff like that.
It is, yeah, quite comedic. He finally gets it cooked off that rock. Goes left. It was nowhere near a minute. It did feel like a minute. As Puncture, again, riding the walls out there, treating it like a real arcade game. You know, in the arcade, something like that. But there we are. Oh,
he's gone wrong as well. Wrong junction. You're meant to do a hairpin there. And oh no, no.
That was
Incredible. so that is an automatic DNF if you fall off that cliff,
Really?
the ledge there. Yes, that's why I was reacting so harshly to that. Very, very lucky to not slide down there. That would have been a terrible end to his effort to not DNF on this rally where he's trying so hard.
Yep. So just clarification there. Puncture started that stage way after Dirk started his replay and has reached it way before. 5 minutes 46 on the stage there for Puncture. That includes 35 seconds worth of penalties. 30 seconds of those penalties being very lucky. But there's a timeline where he is definitely not making it to the end of that stage, but that's not the timeline we live in, and he's certainly making it to the end. Now they both have an opportunity to repair their cars and fix things, which is good. Actually, we can pull Puncture and just quickly talk through that stage that he's just completed. Puncture, very, very lucky to survive out on that stage, do you think?
Did you see that? We fly off the cliff?
We did. The 30-second penalty. I don't get that look. You do, it seems.
I don't know how. That is absolutely the definition of a more than terminal damage type of cliff. And yet, it said, yeah, we just feel like giving you this one. I also, as you're seeing the replay right now, went entirely over a barrier somehow, but also didn't fall off the cliff and just got to gas myself back up onto the hill with some light radiator damage. So, I mean, yeah. Luck be a lady tonight.
You're just mixing the games at this point. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and I think your car not only does it have wings, but it has angel wings at this point to help you. Incredible.
I must be. I think it's a cat. I would not be surprised if I found some whiskers on this thing, man. Like, it is surviving way too much. It's just quite impressive. I'm happy with it. I like it.
Now, last time I checked, this was the Fiesta, not the Puma. But
I was gonna say, I was gonna make that joke, like the Puma. Technically, that's a cat, isn't it? I think we're on the same page for that one.
That car is not a cat. It's huge.
No, it's not. And look at this. It is very much so a broken car right now. It looks so beaten up.
It's a bit wonky. It's a bit more similar to what I see at the end of my stages, to be honest. We don't usually see this from you, Puncture. Are you just struggling out there because you've not driven this track before? Is this what it looks like without practice for Puncture?
It definitely does look similar to this, yeah. It's not been great for sure. However, I think right now I'm able to repair every single bit of my car. Oh, almost.
Famous last
words,
indeed.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm so close. I don't need the lights either. I guess I should probably get rid of the bodywork, right?
Is it not the? Oh no, you've just had it's sunrise next, isn't it? So you are fine. Yeah, lights. You get rid of that. Just take them off the car. Save some weight.
I actually. So that's the thing. I thought I didn't. I thought I had broken my lights, like broken them, and I didn't repair them last service. And then Dirk was like, "Oh, are you ready for the night stage?" And I was like, "Night stage? Is it this one?" He's like, "Yeah. Do you have lights?" I was like, "Oh, maybe not." Turns out I did, but barely. And I got so cocky they started flashing them in the middle of that stage. I don't know if you saw that as well. That was a mistake.
Dude.
That is hubris at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. That is my biggest downfall.
I think it's also instant karma. I think it happened 2 corners before you went off. So
pretty good chance of that, if I'm being honest with you. It's a really good chance.
At least it wasn't commentator's curse. For one time tonight, I can say I take no responsibility for that one, as I think Dirk's off the road again, sadly,
Dirk,
taking a trip.
He spent less time on the road, hasn't he? Than off today.
That's too funny.
He's not had a great time. Puncture, we'll let you hit those 2 final stages. Power stage, do you think
you've
got any chance of winning it today?
No shot. But you know what? We're gonna try either way. I'll take 3 points if that's what I get. So let's do it.
Fair enough. Enjoy it out there. Dirk's
Thank
already
you.
racing ahead of you, so go and catch him up.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Yep.
Fantastic. So Puncture is going to hit those stages now. Kamikaze, Vlembar also making it to the end. Vlembar 9 seconds away from the pace setter on that stage, who was actually Hagender. It wasn't Tristan. 1/10 between those two on that stage. But Vlembar, not that person. Dirk Schockler also not the person to get. He's going the wrong way now. There we are.
Yeah, he just hit the rocks there, and it spun him round a complete 180, perfect 180. Sadly, not the best for stage time, but doesn't appear to have too much damage, no puncture, stuff like that. So very, very lucky to get away with that one. But it just proves how quickly an incident can happen here in Corsica. All of the dangers of a fast tarmac rally with the runoff of, well, a rally like Greece or something. It is the worst combo for making a mistake, effectively.
Yeah, just running off the dirt there and almost losing it. Unsettled are luckily just able to get it back onto the track and going forward. Yeah, typically tarmac tyres do well on tarmac, not dirt. Is my understanding of it, limited maybe. But Dirk, he's the first person out there. I believe all the others may be getting ready to go here. Puncture indeed. Looking to get going on this one. Kamikaze's already got going, and there we are. Vlembar just showing in the bottom right corner. 2 stages left, 11 kilometers and 15 kilometers. So maybe just thinking about tyre choice here. I think there will be a service on the final stage, though, as is tradition in the Creator Series. EA Sports WRC Club. That's a mouthful. It's not actually that. It's actually EA Creator Series WRC. But I always throw the sports in there. They are the people who sponsor us, and we're very thankful for all of the support they give us behind the scenes to bring these events to life. Puncture out there, and will he catch up with Dirk here? He's obviously Dirk's battled through this one and not made too many mistakes, but we have seen him take an extra amount of time so far on some of these stages. I think Dirk could get caught by Puncture. That's the kind of things I'm looking out for midstream.
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think Dirk is safe on this one unless he makes a big mistake or indeed a DNF. I really don't wish that upon him or indeed anyone, because Puncture is still in the first sector, so whereas Dirk is halfway through the stage. That's a 3-minute gap effectively. And oh well. Indeed, yeah, I had to open my mouth, didn't I? And off goes Dirk, and hopefully he can get the car reset. Just reset.
Just reset.
Please, just reset.
Oh yeah, he's reaching over to his keyboard.
He's trying to get. Yeah. It has been known. This is one of the facts that I was going to mention. It has been known on the Rally Monte Carlo for some drivers to take, for example, 2 wet weather tires to use on some of the stages of mixed conditions in the Monte Carlo, where there's also gravel on the track, because the wet tires have grooves on them. They're not gravel tire grooves, obviously, but they do actually provide a little bit more grip on a sandy, dusty or gravel surface where gravel may have been dragged onto the road. So it has happened actually where people have taken different tires to actually gain a bit more grip because there is a dirty road surface.
Interesting, very, very interesting. So just those grooves that are there for the wet to kind of stop aquaplaning actually dig into the gravel is what you...
Indeed, yes, because obviously the dry tires have next to no grooves. They do have a few grooves, but they're very shallow and they are literally designed for perfectly dry conditions. So obviously it's not the perfect strategy, and it's a really high gamble because the wet weather tires, like a Formula 1 tire, will overheat as soon as it's dry. So, and Dirk's off the road. That is a DNF. Oh, once again, just missed. I think it's the exact same corner where he hit the post two or 3 stages ago. This time he avoided the post. Unfortunately, that post also did not stop him from sliding down the cliff, and that is unfortunately another DNF. And yeah, you can see it on his face a little bit. He really wanted to finish that stage, and I think also that might be the end of the rally for him.
Yeah, I presume there'd be a service stage on the final stage, but looking at my notes here, always trust your notes as a commentator. There's no service area, so they've gone through their final service area, and Dirk basically can't recover. So I think this is going to be a big fat DNF for him because he's not made it to the end. And yeah, this was one of the roles he took on earlier on, just travelling through foliage. trying to get back on and having to take a reset in the end anyway because he hit a pole. But yeah, just chucking it away off the edge of the circuit there. Look at this shot. Absolutely love this shot through the hairpin. And yeah, not maybe the perfect way to take the hairpin, but he just drive it through there and goes lower. And I absolutely love that shot on the off-court. But yeah, that's a big shame for Dirk. I'm sure he is able to actually join us for a quick conversation now. Dirk, third time's the charm when it comes to terminal damage due to an unrecoverable car. That's ended your day. Are you looking actually pretty good out there overall? Before we gave you a little bit of a curse in the com box.
I hate this combo. I just hate it.
Do you know who picked it?
This fans picked it. The fans are wrong. Whoever said the customer's always right is wrong. They're not. They're not right. Oh.
It did seem like quite a brutal combo. The fastest cars on the I think you said, John, earlier that it's probably the hardest rally.
I would say so. Definitely a tarmac rally. You want at least a little bit of runoff area on the tarmac rally. And
The runoff area is a cliff.
yeah, I was going to say the runoff area is thin air, but yeah, that also works.
But have you had fun?
Ah! No! No! Oh, I'm so frustrated.
I mean,
I'm so frustrated.
how much practice did you put in?
That's not the point. That's a technicality to the question. There was, if we based it off raw talent, we had a great chance, but oh my god.
More unfettered talent doesn't win the day once again. I mean, this is one of the hardest rallies. We've got Japan next week. Asphalt conditions again. Is it the surface type not really working towards your advantage, or is it just the runoff?
Yeah, I hate driving on tarmac.
You'll be pleased to know we're back on tarmac next week then.
Japan.
Slower cars. I believe. I can't quite remember what we're driving. Actually, no, we are driving the Group B rear-wheel drive cars. So. That sounds fun. Well, at least it's not on a gravel circuit. Group B.
May I make the observation? I think that might be the same corner where you hit the pole earlier.
That's why I'm so frustrated, because I was singing. I'll be honest, I was singing High School Musical "Breaking Free" at that point, and I think as I hit that point, I just went no.
You broke free.
And I broke free. I just don't get how I just mess up so bad at the same corner.
Do you think it's because your pace notes aren't on screen? I think that would help.
No, I'm like a squirrel. I get easily distracted.
Okay.
So if there were a screen, I'd just be looking at the pace notes rather than where I'm meant to be going.
Fair assessment.
Coming up soon. We'll just watch that moment one more time. But yeah, John straight away pointed that out. That is it's the same corner as last time. And if you hit the pylon just to the right, you would have saved it.
I hit I let go of the brakes. Why?
To be fair, you did hit the pylon, just the wrong side of it. Not necessarily helping you out there, but definitely one of the most difficult corners because it does tighten on the apex. Once again, another one of those corners. But yeah, commiserations really.
Yep.
I'll come back stronger. I will say, in 2 seasons, this is my first DNF. So yeah. I was gonna say something I can't say, but I have that one, Gareth. I think that's okay. That's all right.
Yeah. We DNF'd on the same course. I think we both get 0 points. So you know.
But you've had more retirements in WRC and Creator Series history than I have. So this is my first one.
Well, okay, fair enough. You know. Back strong.
This is getting personal. I'm going to get some popcorn in a minute. Hang on.
Well,
I'll try to save it here as well.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes you like to go upside down. I mean, there was a lot of that just going back onto the stage. We saw on the previous stage a bit of a Austin Powers moment where you were going backwards, forwards, left, right, centre, and you just couldn't get it back on track.
You mean the stage the night stage?
Yeah, the night stage. Yeah.
I heard acute left, and because I couldn't see very well in the night state, I didn't see it. So I went straight looking for it. I didn't see it, so I reversed. I did I did a 90-degree left turn, and there was a wall, and I was like, okay, it's not there. So then I had to just start looking. Don't know where it was. Oh.
Well, we'll let you go, and maybe we'll talk to you at the end once all the drive's over. Maybe we won't. But Dirk, again, a pleasure having you on the broadcast, and your first full DNF from the series. That's pretty good. I think you wouldn't be the only one tonight, even if we had more creators. It's just a very, very challenging circuit.
It's just brutal, man. It is absolutely. Let's not let the fans do that again, because it's just look at this.
Never let the fans vote. Never let the fans vote. The fans are wrong, not us. Right, fantastic. We'll head back to the action actually, because I believe we have hit on to the final stage now. Puncture and Kamikaze are certainly out there pushing the limits, trying to find any kind of time. And Puncture was not hopeful of doing well here, and he's already a little bit behind the likes of Kamikaze. If we're looking at pure pace out there, going through the sector line, I think that's about 2 seconds, 3 seconds ahead for Kamikaze.
Yes, indeed. Just the sheer commitment that Kamikaze is showing. I do think he saved his tires a little bit as well. I think Puncture might have worn tires for this stage. I'm not quite sure. Putting them on slightly early as Kamikaze in the wall. As I say that, just a little mistake. I think clipped something on the inside there that put him wide, and then straight into the rocks. No forgiveness on this rally. But good recovery. Only lost maybe about 5 seconds. However, he will have lost the momentum all the way down this straight. Possibly one of the worst corners to crash at. And he's gone. Oh, I thought he'd gone way too deep into there, but he just managed to get it stopped on the handbrake perfectly. Who am I to say anything about the driving here? It's a masterclass. Mistakes happen, but it's what you do in between that counts. I just wanted to make a quick mention as well to the battle for the lead. Vlembar at the moment is 18 seconds behind Vibar Tristan. So it's looking like Vlembar needs to absolutely go flat out on this last stage to have any hopes, but 18 seconds on a tarmac stage is a bit of an ask.
Yeah, it's not the longest tarmac stage either. 15 kilometers, not the shortest. It's about mid-stage length, but he's going to be cracking on with that now. So we will be able to actually see him go over the stage line at the end by himself, because he's got a bit of a buffer between the other two. But he's going to start that stage now. Puncture and Kamikaze out there going towards the third sector splits. And I think Puncture may have just gained a bit of time. He seems all over the place. A little bit of a slow video link again from him. So apologies for that at home. But
Kamikaze as well. Kamikaze just making the same mistake again, clipping the rocks on the inside, going into the rocks on the outside. Recovered it well that time though, only lost maybe a second.
They do seem pretty evenly matched actually through here. Just both making mistakes a little here and there. If say Kamikaze he certainly seems like he's carrying more pace. I don't know if we have a wider view of his screen and you can kind of see the perspective just changing it. We spoke about it before on the Creator Series broadcast, how the point of view and all of that stuff really just gives you a different sense of speed to one another. But it does feel like Kamikaze's just going a little bit quicker out there, but the mistakes which are going to be between these two on this power stage, so everything matters here. 5 points for whoever wins it, 4 points for second position, all the way down to fifth where you pick up a single solitary point. So these points do add up, they do matter, and if you don't make it to the end of this stage, you don't get the power points, you don't get the whole rally stage points, so you don't want to trade off too much as well. If you get terminal damage here, you could end up in Dirk's chocolate with a fat donut being served instead of any kind of point.
Yeah, made a little bit of an exclamation there during your explanation. In that Puncture made possibly one of the biggest mistakes where I've not seen any damage or problems happen from. He just got it like really wide into one of the corners and just clipped the wall on the outside, kept it absolutely flat for the next two corners, just recovering the car left and right, and emerged somehow miraculously unscathed from all of that. I want a heart rate monitor on Puncture right now just to know if he's managed to calm himself down after that one, because I know if that was me in the driving seat, I'd be thinking about that mistake all throughout the stage now. And they are in the exact same corner right now, actually, Kamikaze and Puncture, going onto this very same bridge, as you can see. And, oh, well, Austin powers it for Puncture right there. So Kamikaze retakes the lead. In terms of time, Kamikaze is about, I'd say, maybe 10 seconds in front, approximately, at this point. But you can see, really, Kamikaze just taking a few more kilometers per hour into every single corner, just pushing flat out. He wants that stage win. He wants that finale. And Punchu's more about getting to the end now. He has not DNF'd, as far as I can recollect. So much has happened during this rally. So he really wants to finish to get those points to defend his title.
Yeah, fighting for every single point. So it was 5 seconds at the previous split that Kamikaze was leading by. That was before Puncture pitched his car into the wall and, yeah, probably cost himself another 5 seconds. Kamikaze's faultless through that 6th sector. Goes over the split point now. It's a 5:44 for him. Puncture coming around the corner. Yeah, it's a 5:56, so 12 seconds behind at this present in time. So looks like Puncture may have to settle for 3rd position here, presuming Vlembar hasn't made any big mistakes. Vlembar's been setting the pace on stream, so it'd be a big mistake for him to lose out on those points now. So we will jump over to him as soon as these two get their stages done, get the rally done, and complete round 1 of Season 2 of the EA Creator Series WRC Club. And very much thank you everyone who's tuned in so far, and it's been a pleasure having you on in here to chat to and
Kamikaze. Oh, sorry to interrupt. Once again, Kamikaze so close to going off the road. He had at least 3 wheels there off the road. And I think Punchu's gone off at the exact same corner there. Incredible. Puncture all the way off the road, however. He's sliding down the bank. Can he get the reset penalty? Okay, he does. He gets the reset. But both drivers going off at the exact same corner. It's mirror images at this point.
Yeah, but Kamikaze didn't lose time, and Puncture did. So just, Puncture's gone for a massive roll there. A reset 6-second penalty. That was a big mistake, and he's shouting, gesticulating in the bottom left-hand corner. He's not happy with that mistake, but yeah, he's caught it 6-second penalty. That's probably going to set him down in 3rd position here on this power stage. So probably looking at 3 points. Kamikaze now finally coming to the end of this stage. About 7 minutes 22 on the clock so far. The fastest time overall was a 7:35. He's not going to beat that. He's just a little bit too far away, but I wouldn't expect him to be too far behind here. Maybe only 10 seconds or so away from the absolute best on this stage. So a lot of people making a few mistakes here and there. No one having an absolutely perfect stab of it. Final acute right there. Absolutely judges that to perfection. Knocking out the WRC board for boot. And it's going to be about 15, maybe 16 seconds off the pace here. Absolutely flying finish. And huge. 7:53 for Kamikaze. Now Puncture coming to that same tricky final section here. Right-hander. Let's see how Puncture does it. Again, both of them taking out that ball, but one of them ending
bottoming out.
Yeah, so that's maybe a little.
Yeah, he bottomed out on the front and just lost all ability to turn there, unfortunately, on the last corner, effectively, of the rally. That's why I said it's not over until the last corner.
8:46. So they were neck and neck at one point, but he ended up best part of a minute behind, to 7:53 for Kamikaze, and it was into the 8:40. Sorry for Puncture. So. He won't be too happy with that. I think he could have been on for 2nd place if he kept those mistakes at bay. But indeed, those mistakes did creep in. Let's head over to Vlembar, who is our final man out on stage, the final creator here today to follow through. And he's been sublime today, hasn't he, John?
He certainly has been a demonstration of how to play this rally effectively in perhaps the slightly less favourable car, so maybe running with a tiny bit of a disadvantage, or was that tactics? We have no idea. But he has effectively not put a foot wrong every single stage. I think the most mistakes I've seen is maybe putting a wheel on the gravel and just recovering it as if nothing happened. It's been a sublime performance, and just at one with the car, at one with the pace notes, at one with the setup, at one with the tire wear as well, indeed. just making it look easy. And I wish my driving looked this easy, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, with the buffer to third place that he has going into the final stage, you'd think he'd back off the pace a little bit. He's 1 minute 40 behind his third place man, but he's only 18 seconds behind. So he's got about 1 minute 20 on the car behind, 18 seconds ahead. That's going to be a big gap to close down. As you said, and Vlembar pushing, and getting back onto that one. A good little recovery there, but that's probably cost him another couple of seconds. He did indeed win stage 7, the fastest time so far. Of course, there is a few hours left on the club. Some people could go in and pinch it. Someone like Eyes Amusing, certainly. But Vlembar absolutely pushing here. He's not taking anything for granted. And is that mistake going to be costly enough for maybe Kamikaze to creep in? I don't think so.
I don't think so, no. There was maybe 5 seconds lost, but Kamikaze lost about 10 seconds overall on that stage. He should be okay, but obviously for a driver of Vlembar's caliber, it doesn't matter. You want to go for the race win, you want to go for the stage win, you want to go for the corner win if you can. You want to be fastest on every single corner, every single braking zone. And I'm sure he'll be very disappointed that, for one, he couldn't win the rally, and for two, he couldn't keep the power stage clean. But overall, in terms of mistakes, this is possibly the least mistake strewn run, maybe we could say. So, yeah, credit to him nonetheless.
Yep, so coming over the flying finish now, it's a 7 minute 53. So that is very close to the time that Kamikaze set, actually. So maybe he made a few mistakes earlier on in the rally, but I'll try and get a little bit of a quick recap of that one. So I think Kamikaze came in fish. He did a 7:53.575. Vlembar's just edged that one out. So he picks up the power points. 5 power points for Vlembar. That's it, just a little mistake because the difference between him and Kamikaze on that stage. Vlembar confirmed 36 seconds behind Tristan. So yeah, must have made another couple of mistakes out there before we joined his onboard on that one. But yeah, still incredible times. Look at the gap going down to third place. His fellow compatriot German ZYQC, just not in the same league as Vlembar's Tristan.
Yeah, over 55 minutes of driving, it turns out that the little mistakes, or indeed the faster pace, does pay off after a while. It just shows how many mishaps have happened to our drivers here, whereby the top 10 is literally 4 minutes apart. That is quite considerable for any driving series, including for the WRC.
Yeah, so we will have some interviews now. I'm tempted to bring Vlembar straight in because we've just seen his stuff, although everyone else has been waiting. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it cool. We're getting Vlembar in straight away here. Vlembar, how are you doing? That was a really impressive display out there. You didn't quite get the overall win, but you really set the standard of the creators today.
Yeah, I didn't get the overall win, but to be fair, that wasn't my target because I know that Tristan is really quick, and just getting so close at the end is actually a good result for me. So yeah, I think except the last stage, actually, I was without any mistakes really. So yeah, worked better than expected.
Stage 7, you actually ended up edging out Tristan and taking the overall stage win on that one. So yeah, Tristan, you just feel like these tarmac conditions, you weren't ever going to be able to be ahead of him?
Nah, I just didn't really want to push it too hard because, like you've seen, one small mistake and then it can be a terminal. So I really wanted to avoid that. And like I said, yeah, except the last stage, that worked really well.
What was your, if I may ask, what was your reasoning behind taking the Polo rather than Fiesta? You're the only driver of this evening to take the Polo.
Well, I'm German, so I guess I gotta take the German car.
That's it. I said that, didn't I?
Pretty simple.
I said, you know, he's chosen the car that of his own land, the Volkswagen, the people's car. And yeah, you did really well, to be honest. And do you think with the Fiesta you could have gained any more seconds anywhere? Do you think that would have been a better car overall, or do you think the Polo is your car?
Probably not. I think I'd say I'm more used to the Polo. I think I've barely driven the Fiesta at all. So yeah.
Fantastic. If you've got anything else for Vlembar, John, or is...
Well, I just I want to ask, how do you do it? Quite simply.
Yeah, just taking a bit of caution, but still trying to push as much as I could without taking too much risk. So yeah,
Sounds like skills.
and also
to be
without
said.
many training, without a lot of training. So
Without
like
a
I
lot
said,
of
Without a
training.
lot
can't
of.
be
Oh, he's just rubbing it in at this
You
point.
just kind of come to it fresh, right?
Yeah, I wanted to approach the season in a more fun way, more relaxed a bit, but yeah,
that really is what
didn't really seem to work out that much. So
Blembar is very quick and he doesn't even need to practice, guys. So everyone in chat, join the lobby and put Blembar to the swords because I think you need to take down a peg or two if you're coming in with no practice and then putting on display like that. That was fantastic. Blembar, we'll of course see you throughout the season. Thank you very much for joining. And we're going to pull in the next person. We're going to pull in Kamikaze, who was on similar pace with Vlembar. Kamikaze, how are you doing? Very, very close there on that final stage with Vlembar, almost picking up all 5 power points. Only 2 attempts in it. Are you happy overall with your performance today?
Yes, I'm pretty happy. Consider the amount of training we had into this, and yeah, it's take a couple of hours to get warm. So yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, on that final stage, you were very, very close. You made a few mistakes here or there, but every time you made those mistakes, you just anchor yourself back on track. Do you think with a little bit more practice, you could have maybe challenged Vlembar for the overall lead here in the creators, and maybe even challenging Tristan for the race net and lead too?
Then I need to practice something I don't like.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe in Japan. Japan is one of my go-to rallies, but again, I don't like the car class. But okay, we do it for fun, having fun. So maybe in 1 hour more of training.
Fair enough. Anything is better than nothing, right?
Yeah, all or nothing. And as season 1, we do this for having fun and compete in series. So just doing for support and have fun. So what else can we do?
Indeed, indeed. A question I have that comes to mind. You say Japan will be better for you. Why is that? What's the difference in characteristics?
Japan is I don't see the small rocks in Japan. There you got guardrails, but yeah. When you lower the car, I lowered the car to the floor on this one, and I forgot all the small rocks. And every time I go to service, I forgot to raise the car, so I died. So that's my own fault. So we take care of the rocks to the Japan. We have to use the snow shovel and clean the edges of the stage. So it will be fun.
Yeah, I believe next week is random weather, so we don't know what the weather will be. It's a bit of a random week. That's be interesting. Rainy conditions, snowy conditions. Does that change Japan for you?
No, I have done a couple of randoms rally in Japan, and it's everything will be surprised. But every time I got randomized, I have one dry stage and I have one wet stage in the same service part. So yep, you need to gamble with tires. So I don't expect less next one. Next week.
Interesting. Expect carnage. I think it's also Group B rear-wheel drive. So I'm sure rear-wheel drive, Group B, wet conditions. That's a really easy, good combination, isn't it?
Yep, and as John or Isa is, he's driving that car before, and I haven't so much. So I need to send a message to him. What car should I go for, Isa? And set up advice.
I'll be willing to tell you for a fee. No worries.
I gladly pay that, so it's no problem.
Well, fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us, Kamikaze. You've made tonight very entertaining to watch on board with you. And yeah, it'll be fascinating to see how you do later on through this season. For now, we will move over to Puncture, last year's champion.
We'll show your name every single time.
And Puncture, you're in the broadcast booth. How did it go out there in the end? You seem to be on quite good pace throughout that final power stage. Actually, only 5 seconds in it, maybe leading at certain points against the likes of Kamikaze. But then over the final part of it, you just ended up losing about a minute overall. How do you feel about your performance on that power stage?
I mean, honestly, I was feeling really good. It's like one of the best runs I've probably ever done, like in general. I've like been trying to watch back this replay because it was like so good. Like I felt great. Like all the hairpins, I was just nailing them. I just felt like I couldn't be stopped in that one. But then you're right. As soon as I got to that one off track where I kind of went off the cliff, I got so lucky that I went off really slow and I could slow myself down to 5 miles an hour and hit the reset. Otherwise, I think I would have gotten a terminal on the final stage. But once that happened, then it was just all downhill. I kind of tilted myself, got a little roll, and had a bit of a rough final bit. But such is life.
We were just doing freestyle gymkhana. We'll write it down to that, and you can go again in the next one.
I like your style. Yes, you're exactly right. I mean, honestly, like, it was really fast. Like, there were some moments that were some really close calls, like in that fast sweeping section, like right in the middle-ish of the stage, when you're kind of low down to the creek. That was fast. I was cooking it. But outside of that, honestly, I think I played it pretty smooth, smart, collected, and yeah, it was good.
DNF, crucially.
Hey, no DNF. We'll take it.
Yeah, where
No
did you
DNF.
finish in the race net standings overall?
I forgot. I had a moment where I went 2 wheels when I cut a corner as well. I finished in 41st as of right now.
So not your usual kind of placing. Usually somewhere around top 25, 30, can't you, on a good day?
Yeah,
Not terrible.
it's not horrible. I mean, the top 30 are the only people that did not get a DNF to next stage. So everybody outside of the top 30 had at least one DNF to next stage throughout this run. So I was basically top 10 of those who DNF to next stage with that second stage, or with that behemoth stage that I had, where I had a double puncture and everything go wrong. Like, I mean, I'll take that, man. That's not too bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
You just a sign of keep in there, and you still pick up some good points. I think you'd be second overall in the rally when it comes to creators, and I think third overall when it comes to power stage. You
Oh yeah,
they're good points. The points add up, don't they?
that they do, yeah. And you know what? It's first round. You never know what can happen throughout the rest of this thing. So I've got some rounds I'm pretty good at for the rest of this, but obviously the one I'm really not looking forward to is the champions round that Vlenbar picked round 4, the Group B rear-wheel or all-wheel drive in the snowy Chile. I'm not looking forward to that. Outside of that, though, every single round throughout the rest of the season, I'm really excited for. So I think it'll be fun. It's so silly, dude. Why does he want that?
I must admit, Group B in Chile, that could be very, very fun with the blind crests, that's for sure.
mean,
and add the snow in, you won't be able to see anything.
Exactly. I was gonna say it's fun. I've done it before. It's a really fun combo, but I haven't done it with snow yet. So we'll find out. That won't we?
Grip's non-existent in Chile, so add less grip and more tire wear. Sounds like fun. Yeah, sure.
Sounds like it's fun to me. Yeah, should be fine. But yeah, it was a good run. Good round overall. Very good round.
Well, we will love you and leave you, and we will see you next week, I'm sure, for the finally Japan Group B rear-wheel drive random weather.
Yep.
Gonna be
Randomize around.
Yeah, it's gonna be good, isn't it?
It's gonna be a good one.
Well,
Thanks, guys. You're amazing.
Bye bye.
See ya.
Well, that's it. That's the end of the event. And what a fantastic way to start off season 2. Some really fascinating moments through that rally. What's your highlight, John?
I'd have to say the insane recoveries that we saw. There were so many moments, unfortunately, where drivers did go off, but there were at least 2 or 3 recoveries which realistically shouldn't have happened, shouldn't have been possible, and yet the drivers made it possible, got back on track, recovered the car, and everything was fine and dandy. And that takes, I will say, some amount of luck, but a lot of skill, and they demonstrated their hardiness and their willingness to get to the end of the stage no matter what. And definitely on a rally where mistakes can be made, that's a considerable skill to have.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's fantastic. My highlight is Dirk making a 3-point turn on the same corner he told me off for making a 3-point turn on. Immediately out the blocks. I knew it wasn't going to be a Dirk chocolate day when I saw that. Making the same mistakes as I am. But fantastic to see everyone involved today. Where can we catch you when you're not here in the EA Sports WRC Create Series Club stream?
You can catch me on most social media and live streaming video platforms at Is Amusing everywhere.
Yep, thank you very much. I've been at Gareth Allen TV. You can find me on all the social media gubbins. We also have the Creator Series socials up there. You can follow us on those platforms as well. Thank you everyone who's tuned in from both the Creator Series side and the EA Sports WRC side. We will see you for next week at Rally Japan.